how was it the first time attending our Open Source Day? What's your impression?
Well, the thing that really stood out for me was because I came right when the meeting for like the organization talking through the statutes and everything was being finalized. And it is, like I said in my speech, OSBA is a reference point for a well-organized trade association for open source companies. It really stands out. It's run well. And then, yeah, I mean, I always just enjoy hanging out at a conference and talking open source policy.
You already touched on your talk and your presentation. What is the advice that you would give the Open Source Business Alliance as an outsider looking in, kind of?
Yeah, and I can really, so my advice that I gave in my presentation, and I can promise you that this wasn't asked for by the OSBA, but it was, yeah, increase the membership fees, increase investments into policy work, into the building of a stronger industry association. We're going into a period when, you know, the institutions and rules and regulations for software are being written and created, and the open source SMEs need to be properly represented.
Awesome. You also followed our other talks and presentations. Is there something that surprised you, something that really took your interest, something new that you learned today?
Yes, and it is that we are not the only ones boring enough to care about indices and government measurements of digitization. It might be one of those points that doesn't catch a lot of people's attentions, but the presentations and the efforts of the OSBA to work on, here a digital sovereignty index, there are many ways of approaching this, and it's one of the core questions in all policy. Like, you have to measure anything, and it will guide a lot of policy decisions, not just in Brussels, not just in the country, but it goes down all the way to the regional level when you have those. Incredibly important work, and I'm very glad to see that the OSBA is doing this.
Thank you very much. Is there something else that you take home from the Open Source Day? Like new acquaintances, new ideas, new thoughts?
There's so much to do. There are a lot of great people here who are ready to do it, but I think maybe there's still a sense, at least I have a sense that the policy work needed is underestimated. The time spent, investment, also the time that has been spent by people in order to get to where we're at. I think as good as everything is, we just have to do more. We have to be in so many more places, in so many more rooms to explain what open collaboration and open source is.
And can you maybe repeat this one sentence from your presentation that really struck me, and just like sum it up again? That sentence where you said, we don't only want them to invite us to the table, but we want to be the one doing the invitations, or something like that?
Oh, I think I ad-libbed that one.
But it was awesome. Like, it was really struck a chord.
No,
for me.
Maybe it's time for open source to not just ask to be invited to the table, but to host the dinner where the decisions are made.